Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros. We are back for a regular stream style show. Nez did a pre-recorded MLB one there yesterday. I would love to know what you guys thought of that, whether it's in the comments of said video and whatnot. We're thinking of new creative ways to keep diversifying the illustrious portfolio in which is the Badge Bros Media Network. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really fun way to do it, and then it allows people to get at it on their own time. There, Nez.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that you thought that it went well. I thought it went well as well. I love streaming and I love having the chat interact with us and having it in real time. But it was like it definitely was a different feel for me recording it,
Kind of
and
lonely, eh?
sort of. But it's also like I can just like think clearly and not get distracted because I am easily distracted. So just like not having any sort of like input bias from people, and it kind of helped that I think I nailed the slate a little bit too. I didn't I mean, I made money yesterday, but it was close. It was a close call. But I think it aged pretty well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, content and results aside, necessarily, just if people liked the format and the idea
Yeah.
of it, especially as we're going to push into this crazy window, man, of we're going to be finishing BBM season. We're going to be doing football like everybody's doing football right now, right? There's a million best ball streams going down. We're going to be part of that. But then we're also going to want to service our baseball bros. We're going to want to update how our dinger advance rate and stuff is going. We're going to want to do some double dribble. We're going to do some best puck. We're going to want to do isolated NBA slates. I don't know, man. I'm peeking around the lobbies right now. I'm seeing pick'ems for Olympics and stuff. I might become an Olympic thought leader here with some of these pick'ems. I mean, there's just so much. So to cover it all, it might be really good for us to do, as Numi's alluding to in the chat, a 101 series of like, hey man, we're going to hit you with like 20 minutes of baseball in the morning and a 20-minute of hoops, and then we'll do a live stream of football or something like that, instead of doing it all in one big condensed block of like 2 hours in the middle of the day kind of deal.
Yeah, it could be the new meta for us. We got to get creative, man. We're battling in these streets. I mean, we're head to head with Davis and all the BBM champs right now. So,
Ooh.
Thank you guys for being here. If you are here hanging with us, if you want to just leave a like while you're here, that could be beneficial to our journey of staying relevant and Underdog keeping us around. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. I'm seeing tons of GMs in the chat. The people are coming out in a big way to support the cheese. I love that the cheese yesterday drops a comment. The cheese.
First one, man. Cheese.
Man.
Cheese is in there.
Yeah, man. GMs to everyone in the chat. Yeah, B-Source in about 170 slows. Not fun? No, buddy. That is awesome. That is fun. That is what we play for. That experience.
Slow draft palooza, man.
Yeah, slow draft heaven. Actually, this is a good one here. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. Reminder, just, Nez is going to be on vacation next week. I'm getting married this weekend, so it is going to be a little discombobulated, a little disjointed for the next like week and a half. Sorry to everyone. I know it is peak kind of like draft season and whatnot, but for the Daily Bros, it's we can fuddle around with a little bit of this time. Life has to get in the way, but that is kind of pushing back the timeline of when Badge Bros Brawl, because I know the people really want to draft Badge Bros Ball. I said it on the show previously. I'll say it again. If anyone has suggestions, what they would like to see from that structure, what they would like to see going forward from that, we're all ears right now. We have something behind closed doors that it works for us. Does it not, Nez? You kind of like what we've been working on?
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to rule out listening to everybody, but just, we got something that we think's cool. I'd love to hear what you guys think is cool, right? Yeah. All right, Nez, I think we should dive into the baseball slate right away here. Do a little bit of baseball, do a couple drafts of baseball, and then go into the BBM streets there. Admittedly, have not been in the baseball streets yet. I've done some research and I've thought through the slate, but I was recording Becoming a Best Ball Bro with our guy JJ Zacharyson, part of the Underdog family, there this morning. So that'll hopefully be live for people in the upcoming days there. I will tag it beneath. And yeah, I haven't done a full draft dive yet, but I've done a deep dive on the slate. Where are you at with the slate?
Yeah, I have done. I'm on my way to maxing the early slate right now. Kind of have like my own way of doing that. Where right now in my auto drafts, just trying to get the volume in that I want to get in. I'm like avoiding the Pirates and avoiding that matchup against Cease. But when I am drafting manually, that's when I get my little Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz skinny stat going on there. So that early slate is definitely interesting because nobody wants the Pirates, understandably, against Dylan Cease. So things are very condensed in that contest. However, I have like 70% David Fry right now.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, right. Hello.
Okay.
Wasn't expecting to get that much David Fry going up against Erod today in Cleveland. I think it's his first start of the season.
Yep.
The lefty there, Eduardo Rodriguez. So let's go David Fry and Lane Thomas. That would be helpful for my bags. For the main slate,
both low key lefty killers. If you are a BVP believer, Jose Ramirez has had really good success against Erod. Memory serves that he did spend a large majority of his time in that division, so they have seen a good bit of him. Him in particular, seen a good bit of him. But for our BVP believers, he's hit him hard. So yeah,
that's good for me. So and then for the main slate, it's tough. The main slate's tough today.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk through it. It's a Coors slate. We got Mets versus Rockies there. We got some weather issues. Maybe not postponement style issues, but we got some weather issues in terms of like just good hitting conditions versus good pitching conditions versus whatever. Like we're getting a Wrigley wind game with the wind going the opposite direction of what we normally see in Wrigley there. So that is boosting up some pitchers there. Shota Imanaga in particular. I want to thank our guy, the Emo Cowboy here. Tyler gifted out a little membership there to the Badge Bros community. Much thanks. I saw he's going to be on the randomizer with Pete. So that'll be a fun one.
I got to be honest, man. This could be the end of Peter Overzet, right? Like we could, you could see Pete banned from YouTube permanently. I can't believe he's doing this. I can't, but I'm so grateful that he is. This is like the odds. If there was a high or low or spicy on this thing being like the best randomizer ever, I think it would be like a 0.7 multiplier of a yes.
I love that. Beast for asking if we believe in BVP, and you suggested for the hashtag content. I am a low key. I'm on the record as a low key BVP believer. I do believe that certain guys see it better from certain people. That being said, I know that the sample sizes are incredibly small, and most of them have a lot of noise in them, and most don't matter at all. That being said, if a certain guy has 30 ABs versus another guy and they've played against each other for years and neither of the skill sets have diminished on either side, I'm a believer. I'm a believer in that respect. But there is so much contextual evidence that is mitigated from BVP when you just look at it as a raw number in like a guy's 10 at bats. It's like, yeah, that player isn't the player he once was at that point in time. Neither of them are necessarily, but I'm a little bit more of a believer than the model bros are.
Yeah, it's like impossible to tell in some cases. It's like the BBM thing. Like we only have so many slates, you only have so many sample sizes of a guy versus another pitcher to get the sample that you would need to figure out if there is an edge there or not. So I think if there's a lot of people telling you that this BVP is strong here, maybe lean on the side of randomness. If people are telling you in an instance where you think BVP is strong and they're screaming it's random, use that as an edge. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's a really sharp point there. Nick with a little peek behind the writer's room just to go back to the randomizer stuff there, that Pete is actually being strict and floated a couple and they've talked him off the ledge. So that's pretty good. GM Holden. Holden's a sick name, by the way. That's a
It is.
good name. I like
That's
the
you.
name. Oh, no one to
You're
hold him.
holding
No
him.
one to fold him. Holden's a sick name. I mean, I already got a name in mind if we have a boy first time go around.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. But
Okay.
yeah. All right, Nez, let's go kind of like let's do a little rapid fiery here, just in terms of like game by game and whatever. But let's start with ADP we'll talk mainly the main slate. We did an abbreviated version of the early slate. Man, Tyler Fitzgerald joining a list of shortstops to homer. Did you see this list?
He's a shortstop?
He's a shortstop. Shortstops in baseball since 1909 to homer 11 times in 18 games or something like that. This is the arbitrary number for it. It's Trey Turner, Alex Rodriguez, Troy Tulowitzki, and what Tyler Fitzgerald's doing right now.
Whew.
It's insane, man. It's insane. Oh man,
That's a list,
dude. It's like since 1909. Granted, the shortstop position has changed a lot, but I don't know, man. It's become a more power dominant position. It's become a bigger frame position than it ever once was. But like, holy shit, man, this guy to have his name juxtaposed to their names, like he's wearing number like 59 or something like this, and was like a full afterthought on even being on this team.
Yeah, dude. Just like the Giants haven't had a guy like this in a while. Well, I mean, they have Helio Ramos this year, but like, a little bit more pedigree there. But like the Giants just used to do this a lot where they just call up a guy, maybe you never heard of him, looks like a creative player, and then he just comes up and rakes. And that's what Fitzgerald's doing right now. And he gets, lefty today against Mackenzie Gore. So things are looking good for him again, as you can see here, top 5 pick.
He's been hitting the ball hard. All right, Ness, let's jump in the main here. As I alluded to, man, I think pitching ADP is going to fluctuate a little bit here. I do think, just given the conditions and the implied team totals of this Wrigley game, that people are going to start prioritizing Pablo, and they're going to prioritize Shota. So I think Pablo is going to push up even further than this like 11, and people are going to really prioritize. And I view Shota similar to yesterday with Hunter Brown, where his ADP says that he's like SP5 or 6, but in actual fact, people are taking him as like SP3 part of certain builds as like the contest fills at the end. And that feels correct to me, man. I know they're going to have a primarily dominant, righty dominant lineup, as the Twins tend to do. That's a better way to phrase it. Tend to do when they are facing a handedness pitcher, right? Like they are very platoon heavy. That being said, 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing in with good pitchers on the mound and 3-run implied totals on either side makes me want to get to this game for pitching, especially with the Luis Gil potential rain on the other side of the like in that same range.
Yeah, today is a very context-laden slate is how I would describe it, because like you said, we didn't pull up the weather for Roth, but Roth has LA at New York labeled in orange, and like I don't know why he doesn't have this as a red. I mean, there's rain early, rain throughout, rain after. Like I think the reason he doesn't have this as a red is because the risk with this is not that high, because I think he's kind of banking on a postponement, and rather than the rain being in the middle of the game where like it could like completely ruin a game where he knows they're going to start, and he's worried about a delay and a suspended game. Okay. So I'm avoiding this game until we get good news. Like I have no like Soto and Judge are at like the end of the first round for me, maybe even below that. I have to check my ranks to see if I even have any. I don't. I straight up just don't have them right now through my 20 auto drafts. So you have an ADP Judge and Soto 101, 102, and like I'm like not getting there, and it's a Coors slate with the Mets on it facing a lefty. So like things just are not as they seem in the ADP land. Like I can tell you through my auto drafts that things are like not going as ADP has it right now. Like
Okay.
it's just I would assume I would expect to have more of guys than I do based on my ranks, but like I have a ton of Francisco Alvarez. Um, I have like 70% Shohei because I have Shohei ranked around 101.
Okay.
And then I have a ton of Pablo and a ton of Shota because I'm pushing those guys up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the studs in the Mets, the Mets studs, and then immediately like I want Pablo or Shota right away.
Yeah,
And it's
we're seeing this
because
similar.
yeah, because I don't want the Yankees right now, so I can get the studs that like I have access to these studs earlier because people are opting for the Yankees that I don't want, and then I get the good pitching. And this is like one of my favorite type of slates. I don't really like I wish I could throw like labels on a slate of a day. And I don't know
Uh-huh.
what I would label this one exactly, but like being able to get Pablo, Shota, and oh, if you missed, Luis Castillo's at home against the Tigers, like, and you can get these guys like we kind of talk about pitching in the daily streets at
Mhm.
least early in the season, and I think we sort of like wrote off pitching or at least like did not give pitching the respect that it deserves
Okay.
because what's the point of skipping on this projectable pitching
Mhm.
for like for the randomness of baseball when you can take the surer shot and
Yeah.
then get a lower owned bat like where my mind is right now is like I see this good pitching and I see a very pretty stark cliff after SP5 like
Mhm.
give me these good guys early in my drafts today.
Yeah, and on a day-to-day, night-to-night basis, like pitching is far more projectable than hitting is because hitting is binary outcome, whereas like pitching is like, oh yeah, this is a good spot, this is strikeout rate, this is upside. How do we score points on this site? Even if a guy gives up, 4 earned runs and doesn't qualify for a quality start and goes like 6 or 7 innings, he still has like a 10-point floor with if he has like a decent strikeout rate, right?
Yeah, and it's just like one of those things where if I choose to not prioritize it.
Mhm.
Like who's SP6 today? Well, you have Grayson against the Blue Jays. That's a decent option. And
Yeah,
if
but
the
Blue Jays don't
Yankees
strike out a lot.
they don't, right? So
Yeah,
like Grayson is like that's a very flory play.
right.
You do have decent pitching options today. I will say, like, let me like kind of walk that back. So maybe you don't like maybe you don't have to be as aggressive as I am being, but like I see them as just like such good floors with
Yeah.
Pablo, Castillo, and Shota today. So I want a ton of those guys. At least like I guess my point is like if you want to auto draft, and I know not many people do, but
Yeah.
the meta I think will catch on. You can do it in a very advantageous way, in my opinion, where you get your studs, set a tier break with the pitching that you want, and then throw a stack of a team that maybe you want to stack,
Mm.
and then just finish out your teams like that. Like you know what you're gonna get. Like I think that's the thing is like with baseball auto drafting, like you can be you know what you're gonna get if you have it set up in a correct way. I don't know.
Yeah. No. I'm following. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. So that all checks out. Let's talk through some of the game spots on the hitting side there, Nez. We are kind of like writing off this Yankees one, not entirely, but just in terms of what you said, pushing them back in terms of ADP. So I think we can just go ahead and skip that one because it. Yeah, I feel very similar to you that even if it does play, like I'd rather have the Mets stuff anyways. It's close. It's definitely close, and the quality of hitters in this Yankees lineup is definitely better. But like, give me some of those right-handed bats versus Kyle Freeland in Coors. Like Lindor's been on a tear, and Lindor is a lefty killer. I keep reminding everybody that he led the league in home runs last year versus left-handed pitching. Ketel Marte has usurped him this season, but he's still been very, very good. I think he has 10 home runs versus left-handed pitching. So that'll play. That'll play at Coors in a good spot when you're getting a little bit of a discount there. I mean, we could talk about the Coors in a second there, but just going that route and then mixing and matching some of that second tier opposed to eating the variance of potential rain here is. I feel very similarly to you. And if I'm only doing 20 entries today, I'm flat out Xing out Yankees today.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a postponement soon. So that's why I
Yeah.
think like you can draft 100 times.
Yeah.
So I'm not like blowing my load of max entries before I get this news, but I'm doing quite a bit
Mhm.
because I will, give out super teams, whatever you want to say to people by skipping over these Yankees by like letting people have it. Cause I just think there's just no way that they don't announce a postponement like within the next 3 hours.
Okay, cool. That Yankees lineup though on paper is so much better than what it was 2 weeks ago. It's so crazy. Like when we had like Ben Rice hitting like right in the middle, he was leading off a couple times in there. It's just crazy what the difference is of adding like Chisholm and getting Stanton back to this, and like Austin Wells coming alive. Just from a macro standpoint, is it's wild. Decent pitching matchup here with Bassett and Grayson. It's probably going to lead me to only do twos and threes. Vladimir Guerrero has the hardest hit balls in all of baseball this season. I think he has 202 isolated instances of over 95 mile per hour. That leads all of baseball, even more than Shohei, which is, maybe not surprising because he's always been like a guy who hits it hard, but it's just interesting of note there. I will not fault anyone for getting to either side of this game, pitching included. This is one of those classic, like, yep, might all just be fine for fantasy.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because Chris Bassett is a pretty decent pitcher. But I like when the Orioles are facing right-handed pitching, but the Orioles have not been a team that is exploding on slates lately. Like they're winning a lot of games, they're a good team,
Mhm.
but like the Oakland A's have won people more slates than the Orioles have this season. Like it's just like very weird the way that they're doing it. They haven't exploded. That doesn't mean that they can't just all of a sudden go off, but I don't really see them going off today against Chris Bassett. But I think some skinnies, some twos or threes with the lefties in the Orioles lineup today is a pretty strong bet. And then on the Blue Jay side, man, it's like just Vlad for me. But it's
Mhm.
like one off Vlad is definitely the move. I want to pull up, man, because like right now Vlad has a 160 WRC plus and an OPS over 900,
Wow.
but at like up until I think it's like 7 13, let's say July 13th.
Mhm.
On July 13th, Vlad had a 128 WRC plus and an OPS of 790. So he brought his OPS up over 100 points in less than a month.
That's wild, man.
Like so if we just look from 713
Uh-huh.
to today, uh what is like what has Vlad done in that span? I will tell you in just a second. 8 6.
That's crazy.
Okay. 79 plate appearances
Uh-huh.
from July 13th to today. He has an OPS of 1500,
Jeez.
a WRC plus of 316.
Yeah, I mean, he's on one, man. That's crazy.
Holy
Holy.
fuck.
Dude, I'd be interested to juxtapose that to Bobby Witt in the same time frame, because
Oh yeah.
Bobby Witt in the month of July hit like 460 something. Like it was crazy.
I'm gonna pull up his stats. Like, holy shit.
That's wild. Okay, so some of the hottest hitters in baseball, getting to Vlad is never a bad idea. And for whatever reason, like I'm looking at this game, like Vlad has an ADP of 14, Anthony Santander has a ADP of 17. Like these guys are guys that just like the field doesn't love to get overexposed to, and they're all just like mix and match guys. And today kind of feels like the same in that regard, but like I see it. I see the path.
Yeah. I mean, how can you
Um,
not?
Yeah, no doubt. Very interesting to see what they're going to continue to do with lineup in Baltimore there. Like they got Eloy now, and Eloy's been playing since the trade. Jackson Holiday's back up. Kobe Mayo's back up after they traded Norby. So like this lineup is freaking loaded, man. On any given night, if you get to them, like yeah, by all means. Colin Ray have been better than people want to give credit all year long here, but he does run into a Braves team, and you want to talk about a team that scores in bunches with the home run and can factor in slates. Well, look no further than the top 4 bats in that order. You can go as far as Sean Murphy there. Not the greatest spot in the world for the Braves, but when you can get cheap Braves, always consider stacking them up because similar to Oakland in terms of like the way in which they score runs is like the way in which you break slates. So even though these run totals like look kind of similar on either side there, like the way in which the Braves would win and break a slate is considerably more beneficial and dynamic than like getting to like a Brewers 5-man.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Brewers against bad right-handers, but they just like have been as mid as like the lineup looks lately, even though like I do like to get cute and draft the Brewers, but on today's slate, 11 teams, it is going to be hard to make that make sense.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to do Brewers, like you just onslaught them. I can't like, I don't know. That's probably the way I would do it. But yeah, you're right. The error bars on the Braves range of outcomes are, far and wide. And they are heating up a little bit. Like they are fighting for a postseason spot. So, Soler leadoff is pretty fun. The top 4 of this lineup is really fun. Yeah, this is, but like you said, Colin Ray has been pitching pretty well since he got the shit kicked out of him by Pittsburgh. So, buyer beware. He just faced Atlanta in his last start. He went 5 1/3, 6 Ks, 2 earned runs. So, maybe that's good for him. Maybe that's not so good.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's the old, that one can go both ways where it's like, oh, yeah, they've seen him recently. They're going to get to him. They just saw him. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I kind of lean on the, that's good for Atlanta.
This is a very interesting one that I saw this morning when I was looking at the Brewers and like, oh, can I get there against Bryce Elder? And I was like, man, what's up with Willem Contreras? Willem Contreras has 166 batted balls over 95 miles per hour. Okay. Aaron Judge has 167, one more than him. Granted, Judge was hurt for a little bit there. Willem Contreras has 50 more PAs, right? I just see those two numbers. Willem Contreras' launch angle is 5.9.
Whoa.
He is just pounding the shit out of the baseball into the ground over and over and over again. It's crazy, man. His max, he has max exit velocity numbers that are higher than like Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, Francisco Lindor. He is higher than Aaron Judge's highest batted ball this year, and he just doesn't hit tanks because he just bangs them into the ground. It's crazy, man. It's eerily similar to what Vlad Guerrero Jr. was doing early this season.
Yeah, that's tough, man, right? Because we don't want that. We want fly balls. So yeah, he's definitely got a little bit. I mean, he only has 12 home runs on the season, but 120 WRC plus. Yeah, it's going to be hard to like make the Brewers make sense, but I do have them written down as a team that I want to get to a couple times.
Okay, yeah, checks out there. Eli asking if there's any theories on Gunnar Henderson's recent power slump. I think that's just like the ebbs and flows and variance of baseball there. Like he was scorching hot at the beginning of the year. Like he had 28 in the blink of the eye and was challenging for like tops in the league. And I don't think he profiles as a dude who could lead the league in home runs. He might be able to lead his position in home runs, but I think he just, was outpacing himself at the start of the season, and like his ceiling is more in like that 35 to 38 range than what he was on pace for early in the season, which was tracking toward that 50 mark.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty bad. I mean, dating back to the month of July, he has 3 home runs. He's playing every day. So that's it's pretty interesting. He's looking at a 165 WRC plus despite that. So like he's and still has 29 home runs on the season, and you see all the red on his Savant page. So nothing to really be concerned about. Maybe he just is changing up his approach. That like he just is, maybe he's not trying to hit the long ball quite as much, which like I don't know why he would want to do that. But
it could be pitchers adjusting to him too, because I mean, like we only had like a 700 PA sample size of him coming into this year, right?
Right. Yeah, it was 750 in the last 2 seasons. So yeah, no, that very well could be could be the case. I mean, everything else looks in line. So nothing really sticks out. I think it's just, yeah, like John, like you said, just the ebbs and flows.
Sounds good. Jeffrey Springs back up for his second start. Faced the Marlins first time out here. He gets the Cardinals, who, the Cardinals, I just don't know what to make of them. Recent memory here. I don't know, man. They're going to be platoon heavy now too. Now after adding Tommy Pham there, and we could normally bank on like some of these lefties getting in versus a lefty beforehand. Now that's not the case. Tommy Pham, low-key lefty killer, and has been playing left field since he showed up, kind of thing. Except for the first day. Whatever. The first day after he traded, he was like pissed that he like sat, and then I think he's played like every game since there. I will have a couple here. Jeffrey Springs is a good pitcher. He's not fully stretched out. We took all those lowers against Jeffrey Springs and we smashed the shit out of them on that the first start there. Yanni Diaz, a guy who's popping just in general in terms of like all the hard hit data, and eerily similar to Willem Contreras here. I just want to bring this up because I was looking at it earlier. That 4.2 launch angle, but look at this. He's like top 10 in the league in hard hit balls and whatever. But these barrels per plate appearance and the launch angle is like way down, and it's not leading to any isolated power basically. But yeah, not a game that I'm jumping up and down to get to, though I will get to the top of the Cardinals lineup today. And my affinity for getting to the Rays, but even I think I will draw the line today, Nez, and I don't think I will mix any Rays today.
It's going to be tough. You said Yanni's popping today?
Yanni's popping over the course of the season with the hard hit.
Gotcha.
The same as Willem Contreras. Like, I was just shocked to see his name mentioned amongst those on the StatCast leaderboard I pulled up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Here, like Vlad, Ohtani, Soto, Witt, Henderson, Marte, and then you just, whoa, Yanni Diaz? What? I thought he was having a bad year.
Dude's massive. Dude's jacked. I mean, he better be hitting the ball hard. No, this game, like, I don't want to completely rule out any game whenever I am trying to hit my max entries, but man, is it tough to want to play a game. I mean, obviously the 7.5 run total speaks for itself, but even without looking at that, it's like, yeah, like what is really appealing here? And unfortunately, John, I think it's your Rays.
Oh, wow. Here we go. All right.
I think like obviously you could tell yourself, oh yeah, like look at the righties for the Cardinals. Wilson Contreras is probably going to project well. Pham's going to project well. You could do those guys, but nobody's going to touch the Rays. And and Brandon Lau, Josh Lowe, Yandy is a question mark right now. But like, man, I can't help it. I'm like you, man. I see Lau and Lowe in the lineup, and I just think about their ceilings, and they just have those like 20+ point ceilings. Nobody's going to draft them.
Right. Yeah. Maybe a little cheeky 2-man of the left-handed guys at the top of the lineup.
Yeah. Like I don't hate it at all.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you.
All right. We talked about Twins and Cubs a little bit. We got a 6-run total, 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing straight in. It's 70 degrees, not like that Wrigley, like 90 either. We got 2 solid pitchers on the mound. This is why we had them SP1 and SP3 comparative to market, and why we think you should be getting over on these ones. Getting to the bats in this game just feels like getting contrarian for the sake of contrarian, because wind in Wrigley Field really matters. And man, these balls, even if they get hung up, they are going to stay in the yard today.
It doesn't help matters that these are like 2 of the best pitchers from these respective teams too.
Right. Yeah.
I cannot imagine, man, wouldn't it be just like baseball for the fucking slate winner on a core slate?
Yeah.
To come from this game. You won't see, I promise you will not see me there if that is the case. We're talking about X and out games. I'm not overthinking this, and I'm not taking any bats from this game. I'm serious.
I mean, it's contrarian for the sake of contrarian, and you're building 100, and maybe you do it one time or whatever. I mean, someone else can do it. It won't be me today. A few wins that way. Hat tip to few. Okay, we got the next one here, the Battle of Texas here in Arlington there. Same implied team totals for both, which is kind of surprising because like Tyler Mahle, I don't know, man. Like he was everybody's fantasy darling like 2 seasons ago with the Reds, and everybody wanted that breakout, and then he moves on to the Giants, and oh, we're so fucking back. He's gonna be in a good home park and all this stuff. He hasn't been pitching much this year or that much in the last 2 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. I could see myself getting to Houston, but as always, Houston gets drafted with some frequency. This th- this game feels like if I'm doing my thing today, which I will be doing, 15 to 20 entries, that I will basically only take like one off Jordan, one off Seager, one off like this, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't think I will be going to this game for anything other than just the fact that there are talented hitters.
This is a really tough one for me.
Okay.
Because I like Tyler Mahle a lot. But first game back against the
Yeah.
Astros, I think that this, if I had to describe this, I think this would be like fool's gold, where I don't really want the Astros today. I think like both of the like these are two of the most underperforming offenses in baseball right now,
Very much so.
and I don't really want anybody from the Rangers side other than Seager, because Seager is just like hot right now and he's still goddamn good. So I would like maybe like a one-off Corey Seager and maybe a one-off Jordan, and really like that's it, man. I don't really know. Like if you just want to get to this game because you hear somebody like me saying like I don't want to get to this game,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead. There's leverage there.
Yep.
I don't see how, like, maybe one player from this game matters. I don't see a stomping taking place here.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I respect it. This is gonna be one of those classic instances where like BVP does not matter just because they're division rivals and they see each other a shit ton. Because if you do go check out some of the BVP stuff, all you're gonna see at the top of the board in terms of like hits relative to like plate appearances and stuff like that is Rangers versus them. But it's not like good sample size stuff. It's all just, there's 4 home runs amongst all of them in 150 ABs or something like that. It's literally just the fact that they play each other a lot. So this will be one of those classic ones where if people try and cite it, I would not be buying it. That'd be just to kind of tie a bow on the previous conversation we had with a real life example. All right, now as we're kind of pushing into some of the what feels like the best spots on the slate here, Red Sox and Royals. You were all over it yesterday. Just feels like today's not as good a spot just because you're kind of lacking some of the gas canny variety pitchers. You get 2 better ones here, but it does feel like a spot to get to. And then, of course, the Coors game up next.
Yeah, man. People not drafting Lugo every time. People are definitely scared of this Red Sox team, and
Mm-hmm.
I would be too. I would be very scared of the Red Sox. Red Sox against a righty have just been like a printing press. It's
Yeah.
just Duran is somehow still like one of the most underrated hitters on Underdog right now. There's simply no reason why he should be like where he is. He's a leadoff. He's just automatic. He's playing in Kansas City where big outfield, like it's extra base city.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a ton of Jarren Duran today. It's like anytime Duran faces a righty, dude, I have 40% Jarren Duran, and
Mm-hmm.
it's always the right move because he's just a dog. He's so good. Then you can stack him very easily with Abreu, preferably with Devers. Lugo's
Yeah.
a good pitcher, so I am a little worried about that, but I don't think that he's like so good that I can't do the Red Sox thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got to I wanted to say Alec Marsh, but they got to
Logan
Brady
Gilbert.
Singer. Brady Singer
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
yeah,
They got to Brady Singer yesterday, who is a little reverse splitsy and has the fifth. We'll talk about advanced stuff, and looking at ERA isn't great, but he had the 5th best ERA in all of baseball coming into yesterday, and they still managed to score 5 runs. Like
yeah.
in 5th best ERA in the American League, sorry, something like
Yeah, I mean,
that. So it was like,
he had good numbers, like
Right.
good results. Good
Yeah.
results is what I would say. So that felt like a really strong leverage point, but they were popping in projections, and I was like, I kind of expected it, but it was
Mhm.
one that, whenever I do my first read, I try not to look at, I don't look at the models first. I just try to get my gut feel. And yeah, I was like immediately like, yes, give me this game, both sides. And obviously, but it was showing up in models too, but
To your point with Jaron Duran, like everybody knows all the numbers about leading in triples and doing it in all categories with extra base hits and stuff. To your point about that, it's just the wide outfield, the speed where doubles turn into triples and vice versa, and whatever, or not vice versa, like singles turn into doubles and doubles turn into triples there. But like his hard hit metrics, like look at the names he's juxtaposed to: Corey Seager and Aaron Judge and William Contreras, Vinny P, like all these guys, man. Like he's tagging baseballs this year. He's a freaking stud. And
I know, dude. I just love him. I love him so much. Like
yeah, me too.
he's
And he's
just so
cool.
good.
He's cool. The Red Sox, sorry, since the All-Star break, lead the MLB in run scoring per game. Or at least they did as of like 2 days ago. Who knows? Maybe someone else has caught them by now. But when I was looking at that stat recently, they're putting up like 6 runs a game since the All-Star break.
Yeah,
Um,
and a guy that I famously critiqued and like not been a fan of, Masataka Yoshida, is having a
mhm.
hell of a second half.
Yeah, he's coming
Uh,
alive.
yeah, he had a really nice game yesterday. Uh, he has he was a bit of a slump before that, but before that slump, hit Seattle really well. Um, so don't sleep on Yoshida here, the lefty tagging some balls in this big outfield for some extra bases.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, here we go. Best hitting spot on the slate. Coors Field Classic. You could spin zone first day at Coors Field narrative. You could spin zone that the pitchers aren't gas cans. They are two professional ass pitchers, but that's not going to change the fact that we're going to have, mid 80s and big outfield and highest run totals on the slate from this game environment. Mets primarily are the ones getting drafted, and they are still underpriced in my estimation, as you guys could see here. Like Nimmo at 22, whether he plays lefty lefty, they did sit him. I guess it was last week in a lefty lefty situation, and they had Harrison Bader in there and Tyrone Taylor.
Hmm.
One of them for sure is going to draw in today. My money would be on Hader, but I'm also Harrison Bader slappy. Um,
You are.
I love him versus a lefty. As you alluded to, Francisco Alvarez is kind of buried. There's a lot of thump there. The Mark Vientos Q tag, out with an ankle injury here, did not play Monday. It sounds as if I was looking at something else other than this nugget earlier. It sounds as if he will get a rest day today, and Jose Iglesias would probably play third base.
Hmm.
But that's up for interpretation. There's a non-zero chance he could find his way into the lineup today.
Yeah, I am drafting Nimmo as though he plays just because I want him to play. I think Nimmo in Coors Field is just a blast,
Yeah.
literally. So want as many Mets as possible, man. I'm not gonna lie, I am jamming them in. I am being a big old Mets slappy today, and
Mhm.
I want as many as I can get in my lineups. And Jose Iglesias is definitely probably my favorite one. He's gonna play today, and got like sneaky pop for a guy his age. Is having a decent little
For,
decent season here.
for a pop star, he's got decent pop for a pop
Yeah,
star. Yeah.
yeah, man. He's got a hit single
um, yeah, man, he's actually really mattered for that team because they just haven't got enough out of like
just out
Jeff
of nowhere.
McNeil. They haven't got enough out of like this. He plays Gold Glove defense still. I mean, maybe not true Gold Glove defense, but one of
I
the
mean,
best
he's
defenders
not
of our lifetime, kind of thing.
yeah, and he's not a bad defender this year either. I
Yeah,
mean, so he does a 150 WRC plus in 45 games,
yeah.
but slugging 500. Let's see what his splits are like this year against lefties. Like maybe he's like crushing lefties. I mean, he is. He has a damn near 400 batting average against lefties this season. So Iglesias today, a ton of fun. If you're trying to find a way to make these Met stacks work, get Jose Iglesias in your lineup.
Like that. I like that a lot. Next one up here, we got Oakland, who is popping again because they are playing the worst team, maybe the worst team in the history of baseball, with this White Sox team who has given up on basically everyone there. Lou Bob, kind of the only draftable asset. Although I did try and get some cheeky stacks in yesterday for a little bit of leverage against JP Sears. But
Come on, man.
the,
Not against Sears.
yeah, I know that's our boy, man. He's coming alive in the postseason. I got a decent amount of him in those dingers right now. I'm apprehensive to like count my chickens before, but things are looking okay for those little advancements right now. But Lawrence Butler did not start yesterday. They went the Daz Cameron versus lefty, and then he ends up pinch hitting and hitting a home run. Classic. Yeah, he's gonna be leading off today. He's got an ADP in the 35 whatever. Him and Brett Rooker have basically been Judge and Soto light.
You can say it.
I could say it, of the last month and a half. The Underdog put out a tweet, and I think Carabas put out one too, just talking about combos, or maybe it was Jay Hay. Anyways, someone affiliated with Underdog put out a little nugget tweet about like WRC plus of outfielder combos, and they're like the best in, or I think it was F War combos of outfielders. I'm butchering this, but they're literally like top 3 in the league since like whatever artificial benchmark of June whatever, you know.
Sure.
I'll find it for people after. So pretty wild, man.
I think you definitely like be wary of artificial and or arbitrary endpoints is what I'm trying to say there for sure. However, with a guy like Lawrence Butler, I think you can kind of buy into that a little bit more. He's 23 years old, was a good prospect. You know, we've talked about him before. You know, I don't need to like completely rehash the points on Jared of Lawrence Butler again, but like he's a dog, and and I'm gonna keep drafting him, man. I mean, this is just like one of those things that every time Oakland is facing a right-handed hitting, it's just like this dude can't be drafted high enough. It's just like it's awesome. So I'm taking him. Nice.
3 teams have multiple batters among the top 10 in F War over the last month. So that's the sample size. Judge and Soto, your aforementioned love for people undervaluing Jarren Duran and Devers, and then it's Rooker and Lawrence Butler right there. So, I mean, there's a reason this team has a 5-run implied team total, despite being in one of the worst hitting parks in baseball right now. And as you alluded to earlier, the way in which they break Slate is with isolated power, and isolated power is what you separate in terms of scoring on slates.
100%.
Mariners and Tigers looks like a great Luis Castillo spot here. I never get to Mariners, especially when they're priced up, when they're playing at home. This ballpark is the absolute death of all things offense, even when it's starting to warm up here and the roof is open and whatever.
What does warming up in Seattle mean anyways?
Yeah, right. I mean, what's it going to be today? It's going to be 70 something. I don't know. You know,
70.
Yeah.
Like 71.
Yeah, it's gonna be 71 at first pitch or something. Yeah, so warm out here.
They'll probably never change the dimensions either, right? Because like their whole like they've got a stable of horses. Like why would like it just amplifies how strong that advantage is.
Right. Yeah, and they changed them a couple years back when they put in that little Edgar porch and the cantina and stuff, and they actually brought left field in, and it's still like one of the worst left fields in baseball. Like
that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's because it's right beside the water, the marine layer, the blah blah blah, but then you get no mitigating factors like San Francisco occasionally does with like wind and stuff. Like you don't get it, even though it's like adjacent there. So it's just such dead air, man.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know, Big Dumpy and Randy as a little skinny. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean,
like against Kiter Montero.
Yeah, you can find some home runs here for sure. I mean, they do have like almost a 4.5 implied, so it makes sense. But like when I was looking at ADP today, for instance, like I just go ahead and see Randy Rosarina. Where was he?
He's like right in the middle, I think.
Yeah, like when I see 16, 31, 31, like this sort of thing for like the
No.
Mariners and Randy's going every single draft, I just go, that's probably the worst ADP on the board today. I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
even if the matchup's like half decent, it's like, just give me Lawrence Butler instead.
Yep.
Like, if I can
100%.
just 100% swap all of that for that at ownership, I will take the Lawrence Butler side.
Yeah. Like that's a very, very easy decision tree.
Yeah. All right, last game on the slate. We got some star power in this one. We got Phillies and Dodgers. Fun baseball game last night. Freddie Freeman back. His son's ailment or whatever. Really touching tribute to the start of that game. Did you see it? Like he started crying when he was like waving his helmet at the crowd
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Trying days for him, but glad to see things are trending the right way. And Freddie is back. Really solidifies the top of this lineup here. Good pitching matchup. On paper here, both left-handed. Teo at the top of this order and Will Smith at the top of this order. Low-key lefty killers. And, Shohei and Freddie hit everybody. So, I mean, it's a very interesting game in the same way it was last night where it's like you got two good pitchers, you got two good offenses. Go at it as you see fit.
Yeah, this is interesting because like what kind of Kershaw are we dealing with today? This year, is it one that we need to be fearful of, or should we be like, yo, give me the top of this Phillies order? Because it's Kershaw's not doing it. I think I'm gonna have some Phillies today, but they're definitely not like my favorite play. But
Okay.
I think I am gonna bet on Kershaw's demise today.
Okay. I mean, that seems fair, man. He's only had I want to say one or two starts now.
Is this his second start?
I think it's second. Yeah, probably a second here.
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's it's his he has two starts and he's only thrown 7 2/3 innings.
Yeah.
So hasn't gone well for him thus far. He made it 4 innings against the Giants, which is like clearly looks like by design. 3 2/3 against the Padres, but he got like knocked around. Gave up 7 runs, but 3 earned. So yeah, but like the Phillies haven't been very good lately either, and the platoon is not on their side, so it's tough. And there's just so many options that like I don't want to have no Phillies. That I guess that's like
right.
Watch them be the team that you need, but like I can't get too enthused about them, but I can definitely get intrigued. I mean, the ADPs, the price is right. Like no JT Realmuto being drafted today. Okay, like that, like JT Real low. When has low owned JT Realmuto not smashed? Like never. Just always happens.
Yeah, I mean, I like. I will bring up Austin Hayes' splits too. He is certified lefty killer. Like he's under 200 against righties, and he's like 360 or something against lefties. So if Austin Hayes does draw in and hit second in that order, which he has done a couple times versus lefties since the trade, there. I mean, this is kind of fun, man. Now that I'm looking at their ADPs with the Phils here, like this is a lot of talent to be this suppressed with the Kershaw. Fear of name value, I guess.
The ADP context definitely makes them very appealing now. Actually seeing this now definitely helps with the decision making.
Yeah, that's a good shout there. Even auxiliary Dodgers here. I mean, like Christopher Sanchez has been really good, but primarily been really good at home, and he's been really good at mitigating power. But all that mitigation of power has been at home. So I don't know if those splits matter at all here, but like. Man, that Teo at 25, if he's getting drafted every time, it's probably a bad play. But like if you could do like a little Teo, Will Smith mini, that feels non-terrible. I might be going to this game for offense, just buying some stars.
Yeah, get that late night hammer, man. You need it. You always need it.
All right, beauty breakdown there, Nez. A lot of games. That was 11 games. Kind of went a little bit longer than intended with it there, but I think we're kind of in lockstep here with we talked about Mets being nice. One team that we didn't talk about was the other side of that Rockies game being so discounted.
You're right.
Like, man, I know Luis Severino's been like kind of nice recently. Give me a little mini stack of like Ryan McMahon and Tolia. Like give me a little the isolated power darlings. Like Michael Tolia doesn't hit singles. All he hits is extra base hits. Like just give me this dude to break a slate with a homer and a double and whatever, a couple runs scored.
I had no idea that his ISO is damn near 300.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane. He's switch hitting. He's switch hitting Shea Langeliers, but better in Coors Field.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
dude,
fun,
this is crazy. Yeah, I'm taking a deep dive into this now. So where is he better from? The left? It looks like he's trying to find.
That's a good question. I don't know what side of the plate he's better from.
Let's see here. From WRC plus, it's left. He's better lefty. It looks like.
That's
based
good.
on
So we're
WRC
getting him
plus.
left-handed too.
Okay, nice, good shout there. And then I'm like a Doyle slappy too, so I always throw Doyle in there and maybe Tovar. Who knows? Do a little 4-man ski.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it just feels like getting to Coors when Coors is cheap. Like, just get to the other side of Coors. Why not?
Always.
Like, this team has the same implied run total as like the Dodgers. No, it's higher than the Dodgers. It's higher than Oakland, and Oakland's going to be drafted more. It's higher than the Braves by half a run. It's almost the same as the Yankees, and the Yankees might not play baseball.
Yeah, and most importantly, it's not drafted at all.
Right. Beauty. All right, let's do this, Nez. Let's jump into draft here. I'm getting some questions in the chat about a potential pick'em. If we got any magic there, I don't know. I've been sweating. I kind of want to get a little Olympics action going down with these pick'ems. I didn't even know that was in the lobby, and Nikki and I have been watching Olympics a little bit recently, and I was like, dude, I didn't know you could get a little cheeky Olympics sweat going here. That's pretty fucking fun.
We got to throw something together.
Yeah, we could do. I think something baseball related. I was just poking around that Harrison Bader 4.5x for a home run in Coors. He doesn't necessarily play today. I think he should play today, and I hope he stays in long enough. Mets do not tend to bring in Nimmo for him after. If they give Nimmo a rest day, they give him a rest day. That being said, they had an off day yesterday, so maybe Nimmo is just in this lineup and they just leave him in there. But then you're basically coin flipping on whether it's going to be Tyrone Taylor or it's going to be Harrison Bader. So whichever one of those righties is in the lineup right now, I think, getting to a little 4x of them feels fun. Currently, it's Bader in the lobby for a 4x. But if Tyrone Taylor makes that lineup, I imagine you're going to get a similar price point. I might get in on that one too.
Yeah, it's good. That's a really good call. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something once we get this draft.
Yeah, Tyrone's not up right now. Paid suggesting that it's gonna be Tyrone Taylor instead of him. Yeah. Oh no, Team Canada losing out to Wemby.
Isn't like Rudy Gobert not playing? I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know that. Okay, Nez, this was Ohtani for you, or do you want to do the Bobby Witt thing?
We can do Bobby Witt. Like Brian Bayo is like not one to avoid bats, and it's Bobby Witt. But I've been doing Ohtani. Okay,
let's do Ohtani then. We just talked about Dodgers. Ohtani, I don't care about splits in any regard. Magikarp saying Gobert got benched. He played a little bit and then he got benched. Interesting.
Huh. Is there any team that likes Rudy Gobert? Like,
the Minnesota T-Wolves loved him. They gave the world up for him.
That's it. That's literally it. There's been no team that likes Rudy Gobert. It's absurd. Like, is this guy just an asshole or what? Or is he just like super French? Like, if that's the case, I just feel bad for him.
The COVID microphone instant just lives rent free in everybody's head, and
that literally turned the world on its head. That was hilarious.
Paid saying that Gunnar Henderson at 4x, which he's all over. That's an interesting one. Devers goes there. I would be inclined to take Pete Alonso here.
Oh yeah. This is big Pete for me all day.
Yeah, do a little Shohei plus compete. Maybe we can add some more Mets, or maybe we treat them as one-offs and build out a contrarian 3-man to go alongside it.
Yeah, I would probably take Nimmo if he fell to us, but that's asking you to take Nimmo is like
It's
asking a fish to climb a tree.
it's true. It is true. I'm not ready to capitulate on Nemo still.
No, still.
Uh,
That's a pretty
I, s-
early Vladdy pick, it looks like.
I still just don't see it. Like everything I look at with Nemo, like if he had like the Duran hard hit rates or he had the speed of whatever, if he was even flirting with what Jazz Chisholm is from a peripheral standpoint, I would entertain it.
But he has better results than Jazz.
I don't I
Like
just
throughout his
don't
career, not even just like
care.
this year.
Yeah, I know, right?
You just want cool Jazz. Do you want to do
It's true.
Duran or you want to get a pitcher?
I want to do the Shota one here. I
Okay.
want to take him, and then I want to build out either a contrarian 3-man or I want to do Rockies or Phillies, or we could do 1 Met, 2 Dodgers, whatever you want there. Those would be my suggestions right now.
Okay.
Or Oakland. I don't mind Oakland
Ooh.
if Rooker comes back and you do Rooker, Butler, and then
Blade is a lefty.
yeah,
or
we'd be out of outfield spots.
Mm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Abraham
because, like,
Toro.
oh gosh, please no. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who they have in the lineup today because like Phil, I was gonna say Phil Nevin. His son Tyler Nevin was in yesterday, so maybe they go back to Seth Brown at first base. Yeah, the evergreen problem with Oakland is that the first 6 hitters in their lineup are outfielder. So like if you build out infield first, like a good combo to do it with is like Lindor Alonso and then do 3 Oakland outfielders. Like a good combo to do it with. Once you have the Shohei one, you got to mix in an infielder, and that infielder is might be Langoliers, and he's in the game, but it's not from his goods, or it's not the handedness advantage you're looking for. Yeah,
that's a really good thought. Rooker, Butler, and Blade are like my favorite plays today. Maybe Shea. Maybe I don't want to overlook Shea in that combo as well. Maybe I'll do like 3 and then do 3 with Shea. I definitely want to have more Oakland than everybody else for sure, based on the way that these ADPs are lined up. So I can do this like fairly easily. It's just a matter of do I want to do 3-man, 4-man, or what when I build out Oakland. I think I want to do more 4-man, so that would make my life easier. And then because that's really easy just to like queue up.
Mm-hmm. We lost Teoscar, we lost Rooker. Duran comes back to us. We could do a Duran and then a 2-man because I know you like Duran.
Yeah, take Duran.
Okay,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out on the fly here.
Sometimes you just got to take the best plays.
Sometimes we simply play the best plays. Shefty Bomb?
Where is that? Where is that? Your boy, like I have notifications on. I didn't get that notification. Did you get tricked? I mean, I know that they're not out. Like I don't. We'll talk. We'll talk. We're not on the NFL segment yet. We'll talk.
We'll talk. Evan Fournier, just a different player when it comes to international ball. This is actually true. Ate breakfast at the Wynn beside him one day.
Of course you did.
During Summer League. I said, "What up?" I didn't say anything else to him. But we were just 2 guys eating breakfast by ourselves, adjacent to one another.
Okay, I just saw the Shefty tweet. Okay, we're fucking back.
We're back in, baby. Francisco Alvarez, we could do something like that. We could still do the Oakland 2 mini. What do you like?
I think we do Francisco.
Okay.
Big,
Now,
big, big
take
body boy.
do you take Vientos first and try and make this a 3-man?
I'm gonna believe the blurb. Hashtag believe the blurb and not take Vientos. I'd rather get Iglesias.
Okay. What about taking if Vientos comes back to us, you take Vientos and then swap?
I get yeah. I mean that works. If you're gonna,
Okay.
it's on you. You got to set your swap ranks. If
Well, I know I'm playing my 20 lineup, so I will set my ranks. I know
okay.
I got to. I haven't been able to play a lot of baseball until yesterday was the first time in which I shared with you guys that I was able to do 23 on a ride home in an Uber yesterday from the beach, and I went 23 and and I meant 0 for 23. That's what I meant to say. 0 for 23. The Uber ride cost me, instead of costing me $20, it cost me $250 to draft those baseball drafts in there. But I went pretty heavy with no Ellie basically.
I mean, it was such a binary slate, right? Like no Ellie, no cash. I mean, and it was hard to get what you really needed, but in the web gem 4 entry max, you're gonna do Vientos here?
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do Vientos and then swap to Bader instead of Iglesias, provided our guy A Rosen Allen does not take Bader next, because like I actually would want Bader on this team. With this Iglesias, I'm kind of like, all right, because I don't mind being overweight Bader. But that being said, that option might get taken away from us right here as we see. I don't know. He's got the Bryce Harper option to him too. He's doing. He does the Austin Hayes. Fuck yeah, I love it. I love that so much. Yeah,
as we've known.
Yeah, you don't think the best player on the site knows about Austin Hayes splits versus lefties? Come on,
out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, so in the web gem 4 entry max, I had first place in there. No need to congratulate me for a cool 500. Would have shipped the main if I had that same
if
combo.
you just duped the lineup.
Yeah,
That's
oopsie
brutal,
daisy.
dude.
Oopsie daisy.
What was the lineup? Let's hear it.
That was a shit show. JP Sears, and then Ellie stacked, or no, unstacked Ellie. Jose Ramirez stacked with Steven Kwan, Shohei, and then Masataka Yoshida one off.
Oh wow. Yeah, so just a two-man stack in there, and then Yoshida as a one-off, and that's one that I would not have got to unless I was autoing. So therein lies your combo diversification via autoing with ranks. I mean, there's some good stuff to it there. We got a bunch of choose your own adventures up in the lobby. We got some for week one. I mean, we got the Cease one, which kind of feels dicey with the weather, although 5.5 does feel really nice if that game does play. You got some Olympic hoops starting in 20 minutes here for Team USA. What do you like, Nez?
Well, we can maybe do the NFL one tomorrow with Pete, but I mean, Ant and LeBron are gonna hit those, right? Like just like take your favorite.
Okay,
I feel confident in both of those.
Let's do Ant because it's just more fun to click Ant's name.
It is
than click LeBron's. And then let's just say I liked the Harrison Bader one I alluded to at the 4X.
Josh Hader,
Bader, Harrison Bader, and I put them all together.
Oh,
I think he plays. Yeah. I like that one. The other one I was going to look at is if Austin Hayes had anything in here. I might just shoot the moon. Like
hell, you got to shoot the moon on these. Like it's I refuse to play these anyway else. It's just way too much fun.
I mean, like these guys aren't prototypical home run hitters, even though they're good hitters versus lefties. But their isolated power versus lefties is just like so much higher than it is versus righties, as is their batting averages. I hope they both draw into the lineup today. I hope they both hit second. There's a non-zero chance that Harrison Bader, even if he does draw in, hits 9, and we only get 3 at-bats from him in this. But, when we're doing one alongside one of the freebies, from Underdog there, and it's only a $10 price point. I'm gonna shoot the moon for some 100x every single time. So I dropped that one in the chat. Is there anything else on the more realistic spectrum there, Nez, that you were eyeing that you liked?
Let me see what I did put something together, and it was JD Martinez higher fantasy points, not like a not a home run, but I thought 8.5 was pretty solid.
Yep, that seems good. Versus the lefty in Coors.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Tolia with the home runs. I don't hate Michael Tolia.
Oh yeah. That 3.5? 3. Oh no, it just changed.
Oh, 3. Yeah.
Okay. It did change.
Just leaning
into
Coors. Yeah. So I kind of like this.
Just the two of them?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a third, but like these two are like what stuck out to me today.
Okay. Sounds good to me, dude. I put one BBM entry on that bad boy to the cool tone of potentially winning $225 for the price of one BBM5 bullet. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, Nez.
Yes.
Let's jump in the lobbies. I got to take the biggest leak in the world because I've been sitting at this computer for 3 hours. I am going to click this right now for the people so that nobody gets hung out to dry here. I only got 64 left to max this bad boy.
Whoa, you're like right on pace with me. That's crazy.
People have been fucking paying attention. They didn't think I could get there. Okay, I'm going to do I'm going to see what slot we roll first.
That's fine. All right.
Number 8. Okay. Sam Wilson's in here with us. Perillo's in here with us. Cut Cutler. What a classic name. Love that. Cut Cutler.
I love
Beast versus in here. Hockey Hooligan. Oh, baby Stevie. Oh, man, this is a room.
Don't Embiid my status. I haven't seen that guy. He's got a red badge. It's rare that I don't notice like novelty names like that have red badges that I have probably drafted with numerous times. Just never noticed that. Do you guys think John is going to actually max BBM? Curious. Stevie in the 12 hole, RIP. Hate to see that. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys are here and you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and just like the stream for us. It's very helpful for the boys. If you don't think John is gonna max, leave a comment and let him know in here that you don't that there's just no way he's gonna draft 150 BBM5 teams. Just simply no way. Let him know. Talk some shit. He would love that. Here he is. I was polling the crowd and nobody thinks you're going to max.
Oh my God. Dude, there's only 64 left.
Which says a lot about what they think.
Wow. That is tough. That is tough.
How are you feeling about having 60 something left with at this stage in the game? Are you feeling like glad that you have this many, or do you wish you drafted earlier?
I wish I drafted later, but I just didn't trust myself to get it in.
Yeah, it would have been a lot.
With BBM specifically, if we weren't doing like content and weren't doing like, forcing the issue and stuff like that, I would be trying to do all my BBMs at the very end, like Herzig's doing. That's
he hasn't done any.
He hadn't. He had just done like a couple stream ones. I think he had done like a handful, and he was trying to backdate it all. But he'd been drafting best ball the whole time. I think with BBM specifically, I might backdate it.
Yeah, I'm glad that I have. What do I have left? I think 65. And I feel good about that.
Yeah. Brett Boy getting in those college football streets, grinding the tailgate.
I wish I was sick enough for that, man. I really do, because that seems like Edge City. No, don't misquote me on that.
Still has 150 left to play with.
For the Maoist tuna. Wow.
Nez, I will entertain you with your Bijan Robinson here.
I would like Bijan, but if you want to go Brees, you can go Brees.
Let's do Bijan here. I'm
Cool.
good with it. I mean, I see the bull case for both. I think Atlanta plays faster. Yeah, we've had this conversation before. Let's talk about what's going on at the back end of the board here. How do you feel about Puka Nakua? Do you feel like taking him at face value right now? Are we trying to get some discounts and some sliders here? What are you talking about?
Yeah, if I get Marv at the 1-2 turn and Puka, I'm taking Marv and Puka. I
Okay.
think that is still just a very awesome pairing. It's too hard to say no to, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. If Puka does miss a game or two, it's a bummer for sure. But yeah, I can't like dock him all that much. Is kind of like where I'm at. Like I said, if I
Okay.
get that pairing, I'm taking it. Like Marv is an absolute stud. Puka's Puka. I'm not going to if I end up with a lot of Puka because of it, like that seems like a good problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, you're not scared about a dude who has a history of leg injuries. Oh, we see the Devonta Smith push up on that side there. We can have that conversation in a second here. I got to taper my Olave expectations and stuff like that. Nez, what do you think about taking Jalen Waddle here?
Yeah, we don't really do Waddle.
Yeah,
But I'm into it.
it's kind of been a blind spot for me right now. Um, I think I got to start doing some more Waddle because smart people like Waddle, and I think I'm a little bit behind. I was a little too bearish on the notion that like, okay, they scored a franchise record in touchdowns on the ground last year. They're not going to repeat that. There's going to be negative regression for the offense as a whole. He's second fiddle to a wide receiver on his own team. Like, just give me the ceiling shot of Neighbors, DK, uh, Cooper Cup, like these guys instead over him. And my percentage of him, I think I got 4 or 5, not counting this, 100 and whatever puppies I just did. I'll drop them in kind of like they're primarily in the back end of the second and early of the third there.
Yeah, like you said, smart people are very in on Waddle, and it's probably tough because he was a little banged up last season, but he's kind of banged up a little bit all the time. I love Waddle. I loved him as a rookie coming out. It does seem high. He's definitely not going to like hurt your team, I think, is like what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
It would be it would be strong leverage on the field if he does have the highest score on the Dolphins in Week 17. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Achan, Tyreek, like outscoring those guys. I mean, there's leverage there, and it's really not impossible. So yeah, I need to just I'm with you. I want to have more Waddle as well, but I'm like, I had to do this and talk this through with you to get more Waddle in my life. Cause like right now, man, in my oh wow, I'm at 700 regular season drafts.
Whew.
I don't have a lot of Waddle.
What do you got?
5%.
6%? 5%? Yeah.
I mean, because I was
You
slamming the
taking
shit out of
Debo.
Debo,
Yeah.
which like we run a little good sometimes. I mean, cross my fingers, knock on wood. He still has to play fucking football, but
Right.
I was
Yeah.
reaching on Debo, and I still have CLV.
Yeah, so here's the new kind of like Beastmer put him at 15 there. That might be the new the new normal is that he's kind of like vaulting this tier here. I love what Cut Cutler did in pairing those Ram guys together. Cooper Cup's going to do nothing but rise as he's continued to do from when he was getting drafted at like 38, 39, that sort of thing. Huge Devontae Adams and Mike Evans falls in this room. Been seeing a decent amount of that.
The casuals do not like Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they do not. What do you like in this range, dude? This is kind of how every draft board falls in this, 108 spot, and then you just feel so blah with your third pick unless you get someone to fall.
Yeah, I do like Stephon Diggs, but
okay, let's do it. Stephon Diggs. I mean, like, there's a low key tier break in my mind, and maybe it's just because I've been using other people's rankings or the ETR rankings and stuff that like they have the quarterbacks propped up to like here, and like in my mind, I like reach this spot in the draft, and I'm just like, now it's time to get creative and do like a Mahomes Kelsey or like something on the right hand side of the board because like I don't know, man, it just feels bad. Like after this Diggs grouping, like I don't know, it just feels bad sometimes to click these guys, but I might just be elite quarterback pilled and I might just be, thinking about it wrong.
I am at like 25% of the time I take an elite quarterback based on my visualization from Best Ball Explorer. So that's Mahomes, obviously, the guys
Yeah,
that
yeah.
go in that range. And I'm pretty comfortable with that. Like it wasn't anything like conscious that I'm doing. I'm
Right.
like my quarterback exposures are just like extremely, extremely flat, which like I haven't quite made sense of, but I think it makes sense at the same time. Um, that I'm that flat there.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, that was my whole goal of this offseason was to remain flat at quarterback and correlate around skinny stacks and double stacks. So I'm in lockstep with you with what you've been doing there. Our guy Brett Boy saying that there's new puck contest, new best puck contest in the lobbies. There 20 max, $3 price point. So if you want your entry level into the puck, go back, watch our video from about a week ago. It holds true. It talks about the structure and all that sort of stuff. And then instead of paying the $15 price point, go, dabble in the $3 price point, get your feet wet and figure it out from there. We could do the naked Hertz thing. We could stack Tank Dell and hope CJ comes back. We could do the Kelsey thing, although Mahomes is already gone. Amari
Let
Cooper, what do you like?
Tankers A personally.
Yeah, let's do Tank then.
Okay.
Tank just makes too much sense to try and set up a double that used to be available on the right hand side of the board, but hasn't been in a while. And I'm not going to lie, most of those doubles that exist like this on the right hand side of the board, Nez, were Nico Collins at 17, Tank at like 40. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's a
with
good point.
Stephon Diggs falling because Stephon Diggs kind of went where Nico went there to Perilla.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Oh crap, I forget what I was gonna say. Damn it! It'll come back to me. It was something really awesome.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Where are you comfortable taking Brandon Ayuk without a home right now?
Where do you go? 26. So like I don't want to be like a scaredy cat,
Mhm.
but Brandon Ayuk to a new team hasn't even played like training camp football yet. Probably going to get off to a slow start, right? I mean, let's
Yep.
be real. Like probably going to get off to a slow start. I'm fearful. I'm fearful of the start. I don't want to, as like Pat and Bimfor have recently talked about like having week one brain. I don't want to get too week one brained, but like I don't know, man. Like if he gets traded, goes to a brand new team, and now he has to like completely mesh with it with a team that he has spent zero time with, has had zero training camp reps with. Like I think you would be foolish to not be like a little bit scared of taking Ayuk at his current price. But I would
There's gonna
say
be
like pick 30.
okay.
Like
Yeah,
I would have him and DJ Moore like very close to one another.
that checks out. Yeah, basically anywhere he goes is a downgrade.
Yeah, right. Like nowhere. Yeah,
Like
it's kind of interesting.
you have one of the best offenses in football that's going to score kind of like top 5 in touchdowns, total touchdowns. Now, how those are dispersed and whatever it probably runs more through CMC than the wide receivers and that sort of thing. But like anywhere of those teams mentioned, he's a downgrade. Like if he goes to New England, for instance, which I think is kind of like the least likely of the bunch, but like if he goes to New England, like I don't know, fucking take him with T. Higgins in the fourth. Like, I don't want to get, I'm not jumping up and down to get overexposed to that. I mean, that doesn't feel like a fun week 17 game versus the Chargers. If he goes to the Browns, there's a lot of natural correlation that's going to exist on the left hand side of the board with all those
I
Miami
think Browns
pieces.
could be an upgrade.
Yeah.
I think that's like the largest upgrade. Just because if they play the way they played last year with Flacco and they're just like, guess what, Deshaun Watson, we're passing the ball a fucking shit ton. Like you might not like it, but like it worked with Flacco. Like if it doesn't work with you, like you are clearly the problem here. And so I just think that there's a very, very safe chance he eclipses his highest target number in Cleveland if that's where he ends up. Even if Amari is still there, I think he out earns Amari in targets.
Wow. Okay.
And I think he out earns Pickens in targets too if he ends up in Pittsburgh. But
just because of the type of wide receiver he is, I would tend to agree.
yeah, so target wise, it's up there, but fantasy point wise, that's obviously like a different story.
Josh Jacobs goes there, Nez. We could start thinking about doing like a Pitts with Bijan there. We could do Calvin Ridley, maybe getting a little bit of boost with some Nook Fud. Who do you like?
I do like Ridley.
Okay.
Now that we can, I can say that again safely on stream without feeling, without feeling shame and guilt.
Yeah, JJ and I had a little bit of a discussion about Ridley and Hopkins and what to do with their ADPs and that sort of thing. So I'll kind of leave that one for the becoming a best ball bro conversation there that you guys can check out. But yeah, I mean, I find it interesting that like we get some bearish DeAndre Hopkins news stuff and like Calvin Ridley like hasn't moved. Nobody's really pushing him up. Nobody's getting crazy with him. I was basically a fader, and I think I'm still a bit of a fader. And I don't know. I know they want to throw. And I just don't know if it matters. That's kind of where my mind has been at. But I've had some kind of like bullish contrarian takes associated with a lot of my picks this season comparative to years past. So that was just one that I never kind of saw eye to eye on.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad that I am letting my draft decisions get impacted by a lot of outside voices. But I think it's like by good outside voices,
Mhm.
It's like people I would consider our peers who are also like doing a lot of good content and have good points, good information. So I mean, like, I can't be like upset that I pumped the brakes on Ridley and had this like injury out. Like that wasn't the fucking thesis, obviously. It
Right.
was just like I
Yeah.
think that, I just kind of had to like have a heart to heart with myself that I think I was probably overrating Calvin Ridley, but I still think that he has like a better season than Nuke on a on a per game basis, like in his bag. I still think that is a possibility. He still earned 136 targets. I don't think that that's nothing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like he had 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. Like it's
So this might be Stroud, right? Like if we don't take like I don't know, unless you want to push him, we can push him if you want to like try to build a super team.
I want to build a super team. Let's push.
Okay, I like Rachaad White and Rome.
Let's do Rachaad White.
I am like I've seen the light with Rachaad White.
Okay.
He's just like he's got like one of the best roles in football.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it's like that simple. I don't like if we believe that Baker Mayfield can still conduct a pretty decent offense with the weapons around them. Here's this is a really hot take. This is a really, really, really hot take.
Okay.
Can Rachaad White have like a Kyren Williams level season? Or is Kyren Williams like this uninspiring athlete? Just like is he just that much better at the goal line than Rachaad White? Is it just something I just need to accept?
I think the O line's better too. Like the O line factors.
Their O line's
like,
not bad.
But like people forget that Rachaad White was like literally the most inefficient first and second down rusher in football for like a large duration last year. And their offensive line was way better last year than it is this year. So like that's the one hang up for me with the Tampa Bay one. Now if they maintain their like early down rushing rate like they have in like they did last year, I don't think it's crazy. I think it would look more like a Joe Mixon ceiling than it would look like a Kyren ceiling. but
Okay.
that's still like, RB what, 5 or 6 last year, and it was done in like some tilting ass way where he had a 4 touchdown game and he has a like it would feel like that. It wouldn't feel like the consistent nature of Kyron Williams where it's just like he's going to play 80 snaps and every time or 80% of the snaps and every time he plays 80% of the snaps, he's just pencil him in for 20 fantasy points. I don't think it would feel like that. Could the result be there in the end and just travel a different path? Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, the reason I like make that comparison is
It's
because okay.
No, I was gonna say, what he was running back 7 last year already, so like it's not that far fetched to just go one little step further.
Like if he just runs a little hot at the goal line, we're in for a monster Rashad White year.
Hmm.
Is my thinking because like the role is just like unbelievably solid for Rashad White. He's going to catch a shit ton of passes if this offense is good and if they're at the 1 yard line more than people expect, and they give Rashad White the ball and he's all of a sudden he's at 10 rushing touchdowns this year, along with the role that he already has.
Hmm.
Rashad White's going to smash, and
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean
don't think that's far fetched.
there's two things there. Beef's first saying he thinks that the Canales effect is real. I tend to
Liam
agree
Cohen
with
is a
that
really
one.
good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's fair. That is entirely fair. Yeah.
Like they
Um,
didn't get a huge downgrade there. Like I think they
right.
kind of made a lateral move.
Okay. Yeah, that I mean there's the other wrinkle that not enough people are talking about. Then for me, it has less to do with Rashad White and has more to do with what I get in round 7 and 8 with this like tier of wide receivers like cutting off, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I guess like yeah. I just think like we just underrate. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
I think we
so
underrate the safety of like what Rashad White gives your team.
mhm. I realized when we were talking it through last turn that the Nico Collins drafter already had Lamar, so I gave the room enough credit to not do that. And this is what Pete was talking about with some of the combo stuff that we talked
Fuck,
about on
that's
off and
hot.
on the clock last week. Is like when you can get Trout to fall to 80 because you have this Tank Dell and Diggs, or you just have the Tank Dell one and other guys do the early elite quarterback. This is how you build some sexy ones for sure.
This is
There.
this is a super team. Like I think this officially makes like CJ Stroud the skeleton key of this team because if he's cooking
Mhm.
and that double stack is just ripping, then and we have an RB1 and RB2 just locked and loaded every week, like really good floors there with Bijan and Rashad White with the Bijan ceiling there. Um, dude, this team is off to a hell of a start, but got it.
Can we land it? Can we
John,
land this
John,
plane?
are we? It looks like a clear flight. I don't see any upcoming tournaments on the way. Thank you very much. Enjoy your flight.
One conversation that we didn't have earlier with the DeAndre Hopkins one is who would you rather have right now, Jordan Addison or DeAndre Hopkins? Just reminding everyone that Jordan Addison has a hearing scheduled for October 7th. There might be nothing, might be something, might be a backdated suspension if something comes to fruition from that. The charges are different than we originally thought. Originally, we were like, oh yeah, he was just
I
in
don't know
his
where we heard this from.
car and whatever. Like, but apparently he did blow over the legal limit and it's alcohol related. So
Who gave
um,
us this fake news that I completely bit and fell for? I don't think I was just like imagining this in my head. I'm pretty sure somebody fake newsed me.
yeah. Okay, we got an interesting decision to make here. We could go the running back route, but we only have 4 wide receivers through the first 7 here. I think my mind goes DeAndre Swift for whatever reason, but I'll hear you out on anyone in this range.
I do like Curtis Samuel
Okay.
and
You're
or
drinking
Jonathan
the
Brooks, but
Yeah, I get more and more scared about Jonathan Brooks every single day. I wasn't
as we
on
should. But I
him.
think this team is like set up to withstand him. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't on him in this range to begin with, so now I'm kind of like mentally at this point, like, is now the time to start buying? But we're still not getting a dip, even though like whatever. So if I do start getting a dip and he falls behind like this grouping and kind of like him and like Chase Brown, for instance, start flipping, well then I'll start buying. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
might flip.
yeah. Chase
That's a good call.
I was looking back at some of my teams like early this year, and I'm like, I got some Chase Brown in the 40s. I got a Chase Brown, a slow draft that's just filling up right now, or just finishing up, that's still from the Bulldog or Pitbull. Pitbull slow draft that's still finishing right now. And I have him as my RB4 at 141. And it's just like he's
Holy
going
shit.
at 98 now. It's crazy.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Very quickly, we got the Yankees Angels postponement.
Perfect. Fuck, we're sharp.
God, I'm pissed I didn't do more drafts during that period.
Well, like there you go, man. Like now those GM Mets teams are like gone because you take away 4 first round picks or three and a half first 2 round picks.
Yep. Man,
baseball, baby.
Son of a bitch. I usually do some auto drafts before I go to bed. Like I'll set my ranks Q20 and then go to bed. But I had a long night.
You're sometimes in the lobby with me.
Do you see that?
I see it.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's snap picking. So I didn't do that last night because I was like, it's a smaller slate. Needed a little bit of a reset. It was a late night. I was drafting best ball. Like it's busy season and
right.
Plus life on top of it. So I didn't do it last night, but fuck, if I just had I didn't even look at the slate. If I had known it was a core slate, I would have done it. So hopefully nobody else has too many sick teams.
So this nobody cares about my teams, but this Pitbull team has a James Cook, Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, Zamir White, Chase Brown running back room with Chase Brown at 141.
It's
like,
that's a sick team,
great.
but it's like very, very funny that like you have 140 Chase Brown, like you don't even need it because that running back room is sick.
Right. Yeah.
But still good.
We are back up here. Palmer at the top, Pollard, Spears. I mean, I like Pollard, but
Chase Brown go. Yep. I do like Pollard and I do like Palmer.
I'm good with either.
Let's do Pollard.
Pollard?
Yeah. We've got 5 pretty good wide receivers. Let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Do you read at all into depth charts during the preseason? Another kind of little
absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is one thing that like I read it, I laugh, and I ignore.
Yeah, that one.
Those have never been accurate. Those are always such bullshit.
Well, did you see the Jared Stidham as QB1 and like stuff like this? It's just like, just block it out.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure. Magikarp saying the Canada lost. How do I feel? I don't know how to feel. I'm not watching. I don't know. I thought they had a really good basketball team.
Did you get the Underdog notification Dogman Chill's talking about? Christian McCaffrey's not playing in the preseason because he has a calf strain.
That seems good. I mean,
he said it's not a long-term issue. Mm-hmm. But we have CMC with a calf strain at 101. We have CeeDee Lamb holding out, has not played football yet with the team at pick 2.
Yeah.
Pick number 3 just signed a big ass deal coming off back-to-back 180 target seasons. Also one of the most efficient wide receivers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I always thought Tyreek Hill probably should have been pick 2, but I don't know. I'm not going to overreact, but like, I'm just saying, man, I don't think Tyreek Hill has 101 consideration.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, there's reason for both those guys to fall. What do you think about Goddard as an end of a tier?
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Goddard is a very solid. Like it feels a little weird to take him without Jalen Hurts, but Goddard is absolutely an end of a tier and has where's Goddard in tight end wise? Tight end what? Let's see here. Like tight end 12?
12. Yeah, 11 or 12.
He can flirt with tight end 6.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Like we kind of forget like how early we were drafting Goddard in years past.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the CMC thing for a second. I think it's kind of bearish news that they signed Matt Breida, right? Like that's just like,
how can you say it's not? I think. I mean, I know it's Breida. We're not worried about his job being lost, but like signal.
Right. Yeah, signal. I didn't expect CMC to play in the preseason at all anyways, period. Like just flat out. I would not even expect him to play a series. But that being said, Shani is one of those guys, I believe, that used to do the at least one full series of the starters together kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, like that sign. But then then you just factor in like Isaac Grando hamstring thing might start the year on the pup potentially, or at least going to be on the preseason pup. Then it's kind of like, okay, well, we just need healthy bodies for preseason. That makes sense that Matt Breida, a veteran that we trust, who knows the system, who knows Shani, blah blah blah, comes in. So I wouldn't read like too much into that for CMC, but I do think we are going to see some funky things in these rooms, as you're alluding to, with the contracts being signed by other guys behind CD Lamb. And then now, the more and more we get closer to season, okay, CD's not playing. Oh, CMC, we haven't seen him, in the same way that people react to back end draft boards camp news, that we will see some movement in certain lobbies at the front. So I'm not writing off the fact that we could see a GM of McCaffrey falling to 5, and someone pairing him with whomever is pick your poison that falls the other way. But that being said,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that being said,
on it.
that the whole second round is so fluid and dynamic in everybody's mind right now that like very few combos would be like, holy shit, how did that happen? Other
Good
than like
point.
CMC Amon Ra, or like CMC AJ Brown, maybe CMC.
There's
plus
even CMC Puka teams because of the Puka
team.
fall.
Yeah, exactly.
It
So,
really
like,
is like not that crazy.
yeah,
It's
that's
just like,
kinda how
who
it
do you
feels.
want more of? You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right, Nez. I have been doing a lot of Nick Chubb as my 4th running back in builds exactly like this recently. Anyone else that you like more?
No, I am totally cool with it. Other than like, okay, Josh Downs went, so we can't even do a Josh Downs thing. Yeah, I think Chubb is cool for our 4th running back. Like
You could do
this is.
the AD Mitchell thing. If that
I
was
I think you're right. Chubb is probably a good pick here. A lot of upside if he just exceeds expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
and this
just
is a
view
great team to take him on, where we can
right.
withstand that if it takes him a while to get going.
Like, I love these 5 running back builds where like Chubb is my 4th, and like I have 1 from the first round and then 2 that I'm confident about volume from, or at least confident about like snaps from, right? Like I feel like, how are you going to shoot the moon and like smash with like some everyone's looking for like last year's Puka, last year's Sam Laporta, last year's Kyron, like this sort of thing. Like, what if those guys are just like guys that we know are studs, who just come back a little early from injury, or just happen to break right at the right time from injury? Like, certified stud Nick Chubb, certified stud TJ Hawkinson. Like, those are the 2 guys that my mind just keeps gravitating to. Now, like, could there be setbacks and these guys don't play much and we're eating zeros, and that's, we know the negative effects of eating zeros for a 5, 6, 8 week span, and all your rosters are dead anyways. Congratulations on having them for week 17, but you finished 10th place. Absolutely range of outcomes. But if the top end of our rosters are good enough, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just keep pinpointing like 3 or 4 guys, Nez, that I think are like absolute game breakers from the back end of draft boards. And it's Chubb, it's TJ Hawkinson, and it's Justin Fields, where it's like all they need to do is be healthy and play, and they're going to smash. I'm not betting on them having to have the perfect scenario or the talent around them or whatever to break right. All I'm betting on is like opportunity.
I think it's something about their bets being pretty binary, in my opinion, and like easy to comprehend. It makes them easier to me. Like I don't know. I think the bet is very simple. They're discounted because they're hurt, and if they're not hurt, they're gonna crush ADP. Like I don't know. I think it's that simple.
You want to do it?
Scroll up for me. I hate to tell you that, but
AD Mitchell or Eckler?
No, let's do let's do Hawk. I do love Cole Kmet, but let's do Hawk.
I mean, I'm just bullish that these dudes are freaks and they are ahead of schedule with both their rehabs. Like, I don't know. Feels good. Another one I've been clicking recently more is J.K. Dobbins. Like I thought he was a bad pick for a while, and now I feel like a little more like, ooh, what if J.K. Dobbins isn't what we saw last year where he's limping around? What if J.K. Dobbins is the guy we saw 2.5 years ago?
Hey man, if I don't think that it's crazy. I don't think like we say a lot of like wild shit on this show.
Yeah, look no further than last episode, Juju Smith-Schuster narrative.
Is it like saying that what if Dobbins is healthy for like most of the season and when it counts the most?
Yeah.
Like that's I feel like that's not on like a Juju take level.
No, it's not.
Like
It's not.
and if he does stay healthy, this was a former first round pick, second round pick.
Tail end of the. I don't know. Let me look it up.
I mean, it's
I
J.K.
don't want to be
Dobbins, right?
Rose.
Like we all remember him as a prospect. He was a very goddamn good running back.
Yeah, I think he was tail end of the first round and was first running back off the board, but I'm not 100% certain of that.
So clearly the physical traits are going to be limited. I totally understand that. But here's the thing. We see running backs who are not physical specimens crush fantasy all the fucking time. All the time. It simply does not matter to a large extent, or as much as people think, in my opinion, how nasty you are on the field with the ball in your hands. Are you touching the ball a lot? Are you trusted? Are you catching passes? Congratulations, you are now my RB3. And if J.K. Dobbins is healthy, man, I think he's a great pick.
Right. Yeah. I misspoke here. He was second round pick, and that was the Clyde Edwards. Yeah, that was the CEH year where CEH was the first running back taken at 23 there. And then Swift got taken. Jonathan Taylor went behind both of them. And then Cam Akers and then J.K. Dobbins. So,
man, that was such they fucked that up so bad.
His stock. Yeah, can you imagine if the Chiefs had Jonathan Taylor instead of CEH?
How did they fuck that up?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Dobbins goes right in front of us to Sam Olsen there. I'd be really happy taking Jalen Wright and completely shutting it down at running back. I would also entertain your thoughts on any other player on planet Earth.
So we do have this Leggett fall, which like I think is probably the move. I am warming up to Jaleel.
Yeah, you're not scared about the injury and the yeah.
I mean, it's not great. It's not great.
I think that might be my first Xavier Leggett share.
As the wide receiver 6 on this team, though, like I just think there's a lot of upside there, and we don't need floor for this wide receiver room, in my opinion. Like we have a really solid wide receiver room. Let's take some more upside shots, and if we miss, it's not going to kill us.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair point. What do you believe in the notion of this? Like Ayuk gets traded, Ricky Pearsall shooting up boards. Like, would you rather have Ricky Pearsall or back end Juwan Jennings?
Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings?
Because Ricky Pearsall is going to steam to the moon, and everybody wants to jump this ambiguous tier and get him up with like Jalen Polk. So like, if Ayuk gets traded, Ricky Pearsall is going to be in the 110s to 120s, I would imagine.
I'll have none of that.
Same.
I'll have absolutely none of that.
Yeah, same. I think they can win football games without Ayuk. I think they think that Debo is way more important to that team in terms of like schematic like play.
People didn't want to fucking hear it, man. They didn't want to hear it. They have all the leverage. Don't they want to win a Super Bowl? Yeah. They don't want to sign Ayuk. He's not going to sign this year. They can get a return for him.
Right.
What do you they think he is one piece of a 53-man roster? If they're not going to sign him, they can get a return for him in the trade market.
Right.
What's more important for them, 1 year of Ayuk or getting a first-round pick plus another pick?
Right. I think I think that it can't be understated that both things can be true. That they think they can win without him and that they should be seeking a return for him. The other fact of the matter is they should have sought for that return 3 months ago. And this looks so bad on the Niners
The
right
Niners
now.
have kind of like
Yeah.
made a lot of bad decisions and just have been saved by the fact that Shanahan's their coach
Mm.
and they found Brock Purdy.
Yep. I
Like,
mean,
they
yep.
got bailed out fucking hard. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
Like, look at the guys they traded up for. Sermon, Trey Lance, like this kind of stuff. Jalen Wright comes back and we could do like the right Waddle and shut it down now. Or we could do Cousins with Bijan.
Let's do Jalen Wright.
Okay.
I was
I'm
going
trying to
Jaleel because I've been getting more Jaleel, but I think this is another one of those picks where it should be a home run selection because we got so much floor with those first 3 picks.
And it gives us this nice little like week 17, like
It's leverage, right?
Nick Chubb, Jalen Wright, and Jalen Waddle with none of the quarterbacks. Like that's going to be a weird little
I
week
love this
17
team.
combination. I'm a big fan of this team too. The only thing I'm kind of scared of is how early some of these quarterbacks have been going and kind of how we're going to land this plane at the quarterback position.
We should probably reach on a quarterback.
Oh yes, buddy, we should. And I know exactly who it's gonna be.
Oh God, I don't. So I'm incredibly scared.
Andrew alluding to something that we were just talking about there with like, yeah, there is a lot of uncertainty in this first round. Things are moving around. People are going to start getting weird at the back end of the first there. You're going to see some Puka falls. You're going to see, maybe some people try and push up the running backs as we saw in this draft. Like, what was the default narrative that we kept coming to a conclusion of is, well, as soon as there's ambiguity at these wide receivers, you got the Olave injury looming there. You got Neighbors who something today with medical tent in his hand in a fight and whatever, but probably doesn't matter at all. But in isolated rooms, in these like 30-minute snippets of windows when everybody is so tapped in to the news, you're going to see some funky ass shit like every single day at the front end of these boards, man.
That was a bar. That was
a bar.
Funky ass shit like every single day. But yeah, no, this is August is where it's at, man. This is so much fun. It really like it's fun because it new like our opinions have changed, but also like the draft rooms are just so different. Like so you get new opinions plus brand new draft rooms. Yeah. I'm a little scared. Russ is back and he's cycling in with the ones, but like Nick Farabaugh, my favorite beat for the Steelers, like very tapped in, knows ball. He's the one that like put me onto Jalen Warren when he was a UDFA. He keeps saying that like Fields and Pickens is just like money in the fucking bank. And man, I need it so bad. Not even for like my bags, because I don't even have a large Fields bag. I haven't seen good quarterback play since like before Ben Roethlisberger's elbow exploded. Like I just want to see Justin Fields in fucking black and yellow, man. Black and gold, that is.
Black and yellow.
It's black and gold. I apologize to my Steeler fans.
Be interested to see what Sam does here. I think we just take Kirk Cousins, man.
Okay.
Pair him up with Bijan here.
It's an interesting play.
I just see like this quarterback tier now that like Fields is gone. Like if we don't take Cousins here at this fall and this discount,
we could do a Bryce double, but I think you feel better with Kirk, so do Kirk
in a big way. We just got 30 picks of value on Kirk Cousins, and he's tied to Bijan. Like I don't want to make a Canales and Bryce bet unless I'm absolutely have to.
It's still, I think, an option for us.
Right. Yeah. If you want to add a third quarterback because we have a luxury pick, I could see that. But I'm looking at this team right now. I'm thinking we need one more tight end, and then we just need some darts at wide receiver. We could even do another Atlanta back stack there with like Ray McLeod. Maybe that's a little too gal brain, but we could do like Rondell Moore, something like that.
Yeah, let me see what's up with this Casey Washington dude.
Yeah, Casey Washington's another one. I mean,
6th-round pick. He ran a 4.46. He didn't have a great final season in Illinois.
no.
But 49 receptions, 670 yards, 4 touchdowns.
He was a late age breakout guy, right? I think that was one of his.
He's 23, but like Rondell Moore is not a real wide receiver.
No, it's fair. He
Like,
is a gadgety, cheap motion slot guy.
Yeah, he's not. He's someone for the defense to pay attention to, but he's not running real routes. He's not a wide receiver. He just lines out wide and does gadget and gimmick shit. Ray McLeod is a kick returner. He's a special teamer, and he can run slants.
Right.
I don't know about Casey Washington, but I know he's not those two guys. So I think we might have our 18th round scroll for this team. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll hear it out.
Drake May goes, okay. So Jonu's here. We do need a third tight end. I was going to suggest a scroll down at tight end too, but I think we could use some floor.
I think I'd do Chig
over Jonu, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Just because we got 2 Miami pieces already. If you want to do this, I think we do Chig. Levis is still on the board. If Levis comes all the way back, we could do like the Levis ad. Mind you, that was a third Titan as well, which doesn't. I forgot we had Pollard.
No, it's still a stack without the quarterback. It's still a bet that this Titans team is cooking on offense. So yeah, I think this sets up for Levis, and then we don't have to necessarily force the Casey Washington pick, even though it's still an option for us, and it's just like a bet on, hey, we got Kirk at a value, like, and we have our 2 stack partners in Levis and Stroud for the week 17 matchups there.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to think through like what would fit this team nicely. Like you have Atlanta versus Washington, you got Tennessee versus Jacksonville, we got Houston versus Baltimore. I mean, maybe like a Walker as a full scroll wide receiver on here. You could add something like that to the equation, but we can get funky with these last ones here.
Yeah, I definitely would.
Oh, there goes Walker.
Yeah, the Walker, I think the Walker click just got a lot worse.
Okay. Yeah,
I know it's Russell Gage, right? I'm not worried about Russell Gage, but I'm worried about the signing. Like, that's a veteran, like.
Many would say borderline professional ass wide receiver.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, I mean, those years with Brady weren't terrible after he left Atlanta. I mean, what's he going to do for that team? Exactly what Nelson Aguilar did last year. Exactly, like something like that. I mean, Aguilar's still there, but
I do think it's like a red flag for Walker.
Yeah, that they don't like what they're seeing.
Potentially, right? Or maybe it's Bateman insurance. I don't know. But like, we're not hearing, like, I'm hearing more about Jordan Whittington than I am Devontae Walker.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I get Jordan Whittington's profile and his production in college. It's like it totally profiles as like just a guy. Totally. But I don't know, man. I'm just listening. I'm just listening to what's.
Well, I mean, you're preaching to the choir for the OG Whittington guy. I was the guy who brought up his name.
You said it first. Yeah. You definitely put me on. And like, when Puka was coming on, he was getting a lot of praise from teammates. Whittington's getting a lot of praise from teammates. Beat reporters keep bringing him up.
Let's take him, dude. We can't talk about him like this and not take him.
Well, do we want Levis? Because I think Levis makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to do. I think we need 2 more wide receivers. I will. I
don't. I think we do Levis. I think we
All right. Okay.
Let's tie a bow on this like fucking Titans bet. Like the Titans are
Sure.
cooking because we made a big bet on them, and if they're not cooking, like the team was dead anyways. But like now we have the quarterback that's also like helping lead this offense. Like we made the bet, we might as well. That's a really good price on Will Levis too.
Okay, then I think that changes who we take with this last pick then.
Okay.
Because like I would have said like let's take 2 dart wide receivers and tack them on to the end here.
Sure.
Because like like we don't necessarily have like that true alpha for despite spending like decent capital. Like we took 3 wide receivers in our first 4 rounds, but like they're not the prototypical when you do that. You know what I mean? Like it would normally be like Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, and Malik Neighbors. That would be like a 3 set. We did a Waddle, Diggs, Dell, and it's kind of like that feels a little murky. I don't know. Like that doesn't feel like
I wouldn't discount like Ridley. I would. I mean, you could talk about Ridley too when you talk about these guys. And let's so here's where like I do agree with you. Like Waddle, Diggs, and Dell all have target competition in their offenses. Like all 3 of those guys are live to not lead their team in targets. I think Ridley is live to lead his team in targets though, and I think Curtis Samuel is live to lead his team in targets.
Maybe I'm discounting the Samuel narrative there.
I think Samuel's just a really good pick.
Yeah.
Like he's going to get carries as well. They keep lining him up in the backfield. He's dynamic.
Yeah.
So you're going to wait to not get sniped by B-Spurf here before you?
I mean, I'm okay talking about it. Like I think there's some obvious ones like the Luke McCaffrey bring back obviously makes sense off the Atlanta stuff.
Yep.
I did make a interesting case today on not to give away.
Yeah. Don't give it away. Don't give it away because I want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
McCaffrey makes sense as a bring back. Slayton, I know people aren't in love with it right now, but even if he gets traded, I think he's like professional ass wide receiver. I've used Zay similarly. I view Josh Reynolds as safe. I think Josh Reynolds is the safest of the bunch, but I'll listen to anything.
I think we should do Luke McCaffrey.
All right, let's shoot the moon with it then. I basically just, made the point of like, everyone thinks that zeros come from like, everybody talks about like, don't take zeros in your lineups, right? And it's like zeros don't always come in the final weeks or in the season from 18th round picks. Like it's not because you scrolled too far and you took a 0. Like zeros manufacture themselves from like round 13 onward, right? And like zeros could easily come from Ray Davis, Bucky Irving. Like these guys could all be like zeros. And I think we got to be like more fluid that like 100% drafted Luke McCaffrey or whatever. It's like not that crazy different a bet than like 8% drafted Jordan Whittington or like, and we can argue till we're blue in the face about like profiles and like who these players are as, from a skill set standpoint, but like the fact of the matter is like one's on a way better offense than the other one is. And like, I don't know, like I go more in depth in it, but like, I'm just kind of thinking through guys who are like 100% owned right now, or like close to it, like 80 to 90% owned versus like guys that are 10 and like, they're not that different kind of thing.
No, it's very true. It's very true. I think it, not necessarily in the context of like taking a 0, but I think that does translate really well, I think, into the BR season. When you start looking at 100% drafted guys, that game theory is very, very strong for battle royales.
Yeah. And then I'm like, why if we just think about that lens, like right now, right? You could tell the ones that I do by myself where I just like, don't even, oh, here, I did this one.
Fave of Summer. Let's look at Fave of Summer.
Yeah, I remember doing this, and I don't know why I said it was Fave of Summer. Oh, Jefferson at 108, maybe? Okay.
Dude, I have not seen this Don't Embiid my status before, and now I've seen him twice.
Oh, yeah, here we go. There you go. Maybe he's hanging out in the chat. Say what up if you're hanging out in the chat. This is a 3672 with a tacked on JJ McCarthy. I don't know how this is my favorite of the summer. Well, but Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones. I did the Nick Chubb thing again. Then 3 rookie running backs in Trey Benson, Marshawn Lloyd, and Jalen Wright. We did the Justin Jefferson plus Debo, Keenan Allen, Terry, JSN, Luke McCaffrey, Quentin Johnson fell to 200 in this one.
Whoa.
And we still have an elite tight end in Travis Kelce and a Luke Musgrave bring back off of the Minnesota stuff. Upon further review, I don't know how it's my favorite of the summer, but it does look kind of fun and nice on paper.
I mean, dude, you're not weak at like any position.
Yeah.
Maybe running back, but like you have Kyron and like Aaron Jones is shaky, but like those two is like I think this running back room is really solid.
Yeah.
You know, you have like surely one of Benson, Lloyd, or Wright will like make their presence known at some point in the season. And your wide receivers are strong, and you have Travis Kelce. Like, I can understand why you labeled that. Like, this is a fire ass team.
Like 15 picks of value on Terry, and then got it to stack with Jalen Daniels, and then
the
JSN falling, which he doesn't normally fall.
Yeah, man, this is a great team.
Yeah, Debo stack, Minnesota stack, and Jaden Daniels stack.
Guys gotta look out, man. John's on his game. He's maxing BBM. He's building monster
monsters out here. Yeah, copper prices. He was first with the comments, and then he comes in for his ears were burning when we started talking about Marshawn Lloyd. He got crazy. Some kind words from Andrew here. So glad that he found the channel. Can't play on Underdog in the UK, but love your streams for the content and the
Thanks, dude.
Yo, much appreciate that, bro. Sam, you're never going to be poor, dude, because you just keep playing the daily streets. But if Bo Nix sucks, I will be poor. That's really funny. Yeah, guys, do us a favor. We got almost 200 of us still hanging out. Really appreciate you guys listening, watching, whatever. I know there's some very prominent streams with some very intelligent people going on right now at the same time. And you guys choosing us, man, means all the world to us. So please do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that notification. If you happen to be on the Twitter side of the equation, just one click away, come over, hang out over here with us on the Badge Bros YouTube channel. Tons more stuff coming your way, including Off and On the Clock at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with Pete Overzed. Nez, I will label this one August 6th. BB. How about B Bros? B Bros. That's
B Bros.
B Bros. Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing a couple more on your account here so I can get some fucking equity back here.
I told you that was
chilling it out. I'm a control freak. I just like to be at the helm here.
You are.
Okay, Nez, I will go back to this draft. We got ourselves a 3-5-7-3. Maybe the first of the summer. 3-5-7-3 for us. Yeah. I don't know. That might be the first of the summer that we've done on stream for that.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I mean, I've done that a couple of times on my own, but it doesn't seem like one. It does seem one that I'd be afraid to do on stream because I'd be afraid to get made fun of.
Right. The people are going to ridicule us for this structure, and they're going to ridicule us for taking a third quarterback despite a 10-pick ADP on CJ Shrout and a 30-pick ADP on Kirk Cousins added to that one, and we still tacked on Will Levis because we monster stacked it.
27 picks of CLV on that one, though.
Yeah, it's true. Weird quarterback room there. Have no idea how Sam Olsen ended up with Bo Nix. Running back room, Bijan Robinson, Rashad White, Tony Pollard, a.k.a. Tony Redacted, Nick Chubb, Jalen Wright. We got Jalen Waddle, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Curtis Samuel, Xavier Legette, Luke McCaffrey, and then a 3 tight end build of Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson, Chig Okongwu. Man, if we can staple down wide receiver 3 and 4 from, Diggs and Dell and Ridley performing as wide receiver 2 kind of benchmarks, this team absolutely has sexual intercourse.
This team does not have its virginity. It's long gone. It's active.
Yeah, Nez, give me a number out of 10, dude.
Oh, dude, this is a 9 out of 10, and wow. I can't even tell you where the 1 point dock is. It's just like, you just should always be striving to improve, I think, is like where the 1 point dock comes from. The 1 point dock would be like, like you mentioned, the first 3 wide receivers, we did spend good capital there, but they are not like your prototypical wide receiver 1 and 2 there.
Yeah,
but I really like this team, and yeah, I think taking the detour for Rachaad White and just like securing yourself with some RB points so you can shoot the moon later with
Mm.
these guys with contingency upside is something that I'm going to be doing a ton lately. My tune has changed a ton on Rachaad White. I'm taking him now.
Okay. Yeah, I think in a vacuum when I'm building on my own Nez, this Rachaad White is basically always a pass. I would still push CJ Stroud to try and get the super team. I would pass here just because of the running backs available at the Curtis Samuel, but this is a nice little uniqueness switch from like a build standpoint for me because I just right here I would take Rome, JSN, Deontay Johnson, kind of in that order at 65, then I'd still take Shroud there. And then when we come back here, I would take Zamir White, Swift, or Mostert, something like that there. And that would be the 2v2. That would be the only difference if I was building on my own. And I think I prefer it ever so slightly, but this is nice to have in the portfolio because I do not have a ton of Curtis Samuel or a ton of Rachaad White, and that is basically just because of that flippening right there.
Well, I'm glad I could get you on them just ever so slightly in
Yeah.
your portfolio. It's just like a come to Jesus moment I had. Maybe it's just me wanting to diversify, but I truly do believe that like Rashad White's not a bad pick.
Yeah. No asking if we are feeling the burnout effects of drafting yet. That's probably a better question for you, Nez. I'm digging some of the things in the chat here where Baby CV said he's burnt out. He just drafted Jonathan Mingo. That's how burnt out he is.
Yeah.
This is a better question for you than me because I've been kind of tapering it to make sure I don't feel burnt out and make sure I get to 300. But for you going for 1,000, are you feeling any fatigue yet?
Um, my slow drafts are really getting to me. I will say I'm at 160 slows right now. Across, I'm doing multiple sports, right? I got some hockey in there, mixing it up. I got some basketball in there to
Nice.
help like change, like break it up a little bit, and like weekly winners as well as like it is like a whole new muscle that I'm flexing by drafting those as well. So that does get to be a lot because like if I step away from the internet for like 20 minutes, I'm on the clock and like 15 slow drafts like as soon as I come back. But I'm not gonna, this is like not coming from like an underdog partner standpoint, just coming from me as a person. Like I fucking love this shit. So I'm like I just I'm enjoying it, man. I love this shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
I,
guess like no, if you want to talk, man, hit me up on Twitter and we can like we can talk, dude. Like I'll be happy to work through the burnout with you and try and how to maybe combat it.
yeah, I mean, like, it is a little daunting every time you pick up your phone to just see this, and you're just like, holy shit, I have to click 30 picks right now, and I have to remember whose team and whatever, and then once I'm done that, I know that there's this many more coming. So, like, yeah, I do feel like Jump Free saying he woke up to 65 picks on the clock this morning. Like, it becomes part of like your habitual behavior that twice a day you have to make sure, I sit down and I do like 25 of these and 50 of these and
It's
whatever.
basically like a fast draft, right? Like you got to sit down and essentially almost like draft like
Mhm.
an entire best ball team. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
This is keeping me distracted on wedding week when I should be doing real shit though. Yeah, this is a good one from Nick though. That the fact that we rip other sports, you get a feeling of the daily stuff as well, and you get some turnover in the money taking place. And we're doing the pick'em stuff as well, so the account balance isn't just dwindling the whole time
Yeah,
trying to enter these, right?
yeah, that's a really good point. Like that's been really helpful to keep things fresh too. You know, like
Mhm.
I'm not bored. You know, doing baseball dailies does keep me entertained.
Right, absolutely. There, Magikarp saying like he doesn't even know what he's gonna do. It's like it's gonna be like the Talladega Nights. Like I don't know what to do with my hands. They
Yeah,
just keep drifting up. I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh shoot, that's fun. All right, guys, let's tie a bow on it right there. Um, let's where's the button? There we go. Still 200 of us hanging out. Please do us the big favor of coming on over, hitting that like, that subscribe, that notification bell and stuff. We'll be back tomorrow, talk a little more football. Hopefully we have some Brandon Ayuk news to break down there. We can talk through some ADP shifts there with Pete. 2 p.m. Eastern, off and on the clock, right here on the Badge Bros Media Network channel here. Mr. Goodboy knows that I'm wrapping up. Get your Mr. Goodboys in the chat. He knows this tone of voice is park time.
I love
here.
it.
So, yeah. Best of luck to everybody in the MLB streets. Hopefully some people could absorb some of that meta at the beginning there and take down a slate tonight. Nez, any other stuff for the people?
No, man, I will see you guys in these MLB main slate lobbies. And yeah, don't snipe my Mets. Thank you very much.
Don't snipe my Mets, he says. Yeah, I think I might have missed the boat on chasing some of those Mets GMs. So it's going to be Harrison Bader and Oakland and Rockies for old John Boy tonight by the sounds of it. So best of luck in the streets there. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.